But I have the luxury of going out and having the ability to do that as often as we choose as a family, but not everybody does. Like this family said that they might not make it back to California ever again because probably costs them a lot of money to come from the Midwest. I think we all have to realize that whatever side of the counter you're on, we're all struggling to a degree, and we need to put ourselves in neutral and put our best foot forward and leverage the opportunities to, whether it's make somebody's day or do the best job we possibly can.
Yeah, I thank you for saying that, because it really does come down to everybody in the restaurant is working hard. Expect delays, expect things to get wrong, expect problems. Just accept them as a momentary thing that's going to be over with. When people travel today, you see so many different stories. Travel is little brain territory. There's so many things that go wrong when you travel. Little brain wants to take over all the time.
Yeah.
It wants to snap. And the thing is that you have to look at the workers at the restaurants that are still there, that are working, that are trying to help everybody. And customers, I think for the most part, have been excellent. The only, we see on the news snippets of the ugly consumer, I would call them, who's really not understanding the situation. That's where their little brains are taking over. We've got to try to bring them back. Restaurant business, and you probably know this, is that the word restaurant comes from a French word, which means to restore. And that's what restaurants do. There was a gentleman in 1765, this is a Merriam-Webster dictionary quote, that he opened up a little soup and stew place in Paris. Mm-hmm. And because he couldn't get into any of the other food unions, the butcher's union, the baker's union, on a road to Paris, and he put a sign in his window. He says, "Come in, you weary travelers, and my stews will restore you." And that's the genesis of the word restaurant, because it's restaurant or restaurar. And it's the perfect metaphor for what we do. Restaurants, people are physiologically, I tell people when I'm doing presentations, I'm in the business of serving people with low blood sugar. Right? They come in, they're hungry.
Yeah.
They don't know why they feel like that. They're hungry. Maybe something happened at home, something at work, but they've been thinking about that food for the last hour and a half, 2 hours. And so now they're there. That's what they want. And they're not always the most kind in the first 5 minutes they're with you. But boy, once you give them the food, they come back. They're restored. And that's kind of what we need to look at right now, is that our physiological restoration happens when we eat food, but the emotional part comes with a smile, comes with a nice atmosphere. And even if you're wearing a mask, your eyes can smile. And I think that we're seeing a lot of more people elevate their restaurants to that level where, yes, we may not be the fastest right now, but we're going to do the best we can for you, because it's the most difficult time that's ever been in this business. So if you've got a restaurant that's open, keep them open. Do your best and have the most patience as possible.
Yeah, and I think it goes well beyond the restaurants. It goes into our retail servers, counter people, that are in other businesses. I interact with the hardware store quite a bit around here, so I'm there more than the restaurants. But, and I also think it's important as we communicate to think about both sides of that counter. Again, whether you're working and serving or if you're coming in, like you said, good for them if they've managed to stay in business, and they're probably working their tails off to do everything they can. We as customers also need to watch our communication and be patient and understanding, stay in neutral, and realize, hey, they're doing what they can behind that counter, and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's that communal part of restaurants. People are generally very, very kind, very, very nice. And if you find somebody, and I've had one or two incidents in the last 2 years where somebody was getting a little bit anxiety filled, and a customer behind them just said, "Hey, calm down. They're doing the best they can right now. They're going to fast." And it was really that customer helping calm the person down. At the same time, we train, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on this, is that we train our staff how to manage their tone. Because when a customer is uptoning, okay, our job is to stay in a very serious tone where it's just comfortable for people to go to. Because lots of times people get excited and they start uptoning, and you can't out-tone somebody. So the best thing you can do is maintain a really good tone and bring them back to you. And that's one of the keys right now is that you see people escalating tones. And the problem with escalating tones is it turns a conversation into a confrontation because we allow that tone to escalate. And that's one of the keys. So there's a message in the book about that.
I love that. I also, I'm reading here, it talks about effectively managing your time and taking responsibility for your words as well as your actions. And, it's funny, as a traveler, you often see people hustling through the airport because they're running late, because they were ineffective in managing their own time, but yet that's affecting the whole airport. I often think, why are we all suffering because that person chose to be a poor manager of time? But I think it is important for all of us to understand how to be more effective in time management as well as taking responsibility for it.
Yeah, everything's going to take a little longer for a while for now. And I think it really does. If you've planned well ahead and you're there ahead of time, realizing that there's going to be delays, it's the best thing you can do is, grab a book or grab a newspaper or something, just read something, but don't make somebody else's job more difficult because you didn't give them enough time. You didn't give yourself enough time to achieve things. I duly think that when we look at this, the book could have been called Duh, because it's stuff we all know. The only thing I did in the book was I laid it out, made it very easy for people to identify different traps and different tools. More importantly, that the tools that are easy for them to remember when they need to, because that's the idea. That you can write a library full of books, but if people can't remember the information when they need it, then it's not going to do them any good. Under the pressure of the moment, which is a lot about big brain, little brain, is that we've got to be able to choose big brain. We've got to be able to keep big brain in control. So little brain doesn't create problems in your life. Little brain will create chaos if you allow it.
Kevin, what habits or reminders can we follow each day to keep ourselves from falling into that trap of saying and doing things that we shouldn't?
Well, I think number one is realize that the words you use today will follow you forever. And that's more true now than ever. And I think that with the idea that your words are going to be recorded by some device somewhere, and they're going to be repeated, choose your words wisely, because choose your tone. I think I have people practice their neutral words. Mine is okay. Practice so that you can send a signal to your big brain, take over. Use your neutral tone. Use a neutral tone, and you can control any conversation. While everybody else can be flipping up and down and roller coastering, if you maintain a neutral tone, you can control the conversation. That's number one. It works really well with children. It works really well with coworkers and other people, is manage your tone. If you can control your tone, you can control your life. And I see this happen so much. I think the other thing that we can do is everybody realize that we're right now in a very unique time of life, and it's going to pass. It will be gone. Let's all get through this and realize that, the people that are living next to us, the people that we're interacting with, we're going to see them again. We're going to see them again. So let's not think that we're just going to say something and walk away. This is what we say right now is part of our future.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because it's hard to forget, the words that people use with you and how they use them with you. And you're right. We're going to get through this. Things will pass. We've always had politics and something going on in the world, but never as divisive as it is right now. But it'll pass, and we'll come out the other side of this. So I think we really have to be cautious of what we say, because we really can't take those things back. And they talk about words are one of our most powerful tools. It's hard to pull that back.
It is. And I think, we all have, I have a list and some worksheets for people on the website now, but there are different things that activate us. People talking in a movie theater, somebody cutting you off in traffic. There's all these different little daily situations that can activate the little brain and make you want to overreact to it. overreact to that situation. And it's incumbent upon us to take control, not let ourselves be overreact. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, the worst thing you can do is speed up and try to give them a hand gesture. That's like, and it's the same thing with conversation. Somebody says something wrong. Don't try to confront them right away. Sometimes you just let it pass. Sometimes you just let ignorance hit the wall by itself rather than trying to react to it or respond to it. The best thing we can do is maintain control ourselves. And if other people are getting out of control, step aside and let them hit the wall. And then, then come back and pivot to where you know the conversation needs to go.
I want to bring up a different way of communicating, which is text messaging. We've all, well, maybe not all of us. I know I've certainly fallen victim to becoming, I use my text messaging tools more often than I'd ever had in the past. And what was interesting for me yesterday, I was got on the phone with my brother, and he was kind of upset with some exchanges of our text messages over the last couple months. And I said, well, give me an example. He says, well, you said, where are you the other day? He goes, I just felt like I was a child being beckoned by his parent or some corporate CEO looking for his employee in the break room. Whereas in my mind, I was thinking, yo, brother, where are you? In a happy format. And I realized, and I had to apologize. I said, I'm sorry. Oftentimes I'm in a rush and I don't add the, hey, hello, and the tonality of my text. I think we all have to realize that a text message doesn't convey our tone the way our voices do, and we oftentimes get ourselves in a predicament. And I'm just wondering if you taught on that or you speak on that at all.
I do, and you bring up an excellent point, Jim. It is because the tone is in a text message is decided by the person receiving it, not by the person sending it. All right. The person, if they're in a bad mood and they're receiving your text, that mood is going to dictate what you're saying in the text or an email. I used to see long emails with people sort of posturing what they want to say in long emails, everything like that. So I eliminated emails from my company. We're not emailing. Guys, pick up the phone and call me, or I'll come and see you. But we're not a big enough company where I have to worry about large locations far away. But it's so much better communication as you put it, either verbally, like you pick up the phone sometimes. And if you get a snarky, or if you get a text or an email that seems wrong, it seems like, pick up the phone, change the medium, switch the medium from that text to audio, or at least, maybe FaceTime or Zoom or something if you can't see the person. But I really think that you bring up a brilliant point, and that is that we're all moving so fast right now. Mm-hmm. We're all moving so quick, and because we've got these tools to make us go faster, right? Cars are going faster. Every communication is faster, but that doesn't give us time for thought. And it's not just think before you speak. It's everything you say is going to have an impact, and everything you talk about. I think that the speed today is hurting us, and I know that the internet works. From a clicking standpoint, from those websites that need more clicks, they prey upon people that are going to overreact or quickly react to something because they want to keep the traffic going. And for me, I really want to slow people. I'm slowing myself down. Yes, I have an Instagram page for the book, but I only post once a week. Somebody says, no, you got to do it every day. I go, no, I'm going to post once a week. It doesn't have to be that cadence that the rest of the world is going at. I can post it once a week. I've got other things I've got to accomplish. But plus, I'd rather, if it's going to be there forever in Instagram world, let it be there. But it doesn't have to be something every single day, because we have other things we can focus on. But the digital communication right now is it sometimes more of a distraction really than a good communication.
Yeah. Kevin, I could probably talk to you all day, and I think a lot of this information's in your book, and I'm sure they can receive a great amount of service at your restaurants. I want to thank you for your time. Where can people find your book at? Where can they learn more about you? What is your website or your Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram website at bigbrainlittlebrain.com. and you can get to the Instagram from there. You can go to kevin@bigbrainlittlebrain.com. I return all my emails personally. And you go on Amazon. If you read the book, please give a review, good or bad, whatever you feel like. I think the most important thing is getting the word out about neutral. Let's let everybody know that it's there. Because I was doing a presentation, and the one